Yeah, no, it is. It is. I tell you what, man. Like, well, first of all, welcome into Wake Up 502. I had my the the broadcast on X and YouTube was muted. So sorry about that, people. First of all, but no, you're absolutely right. Like, this Super Bowl is about the most, like, no one. I haven't heard really anything about it. It's been the quiet. I mean, Haven, for you, has this been like the quietest 2 weeks before a Super Bowl like ever that you've heard?
Yes. I mean, like, normally Super Bowl is literally hyped beyond all reason.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, normally it's like nonstop Super Bowl, Super Bowl, Super Bowl, Super Bowl.
Yes.
And it drowns out everything else. These past 2 weeks, like, it really hasn't. Like, you could tell, like, the energy, like, just isn't there. I think, like, people wanted to see the Bears and Caleb Williams, and people wanted to see the Texans and C.J. Stroud, and people wanted to see.
I mean, do people really want to see C.J. Stroud?
Maybe not C.J. Stroud, but I mean, but the Texans defense is real.
Yes, absolutely.
And people wanted to see the Texans defense like do their thing, right? Like, even Bo Nix, like, people kind of excited to see what Bo Nix could do, because I know you're a Raiders fan. I know you hate the Denver Broncos, but they were on a rampage. Like, they won like 11 straight games, for a time there. And people kind of excited about that. But, you have the Seattle Seahawks is not really a superstar player in the team that you can gravitate towards, right?
Yeah.
And the Patriots are the same way. It's not that star power play on a Patriots team that you can gravitate to, that you be like, man, I'm going to see that guy play. Like, Drake May's good, and we all knew he was good coming out of North Carolina, but nobody's excited to watch Drake May play. Now, let's be honest.
Yeah, nobody really likes Drake May like that,
and nobody's excited to see Sam Darnold play. Not really. I mean, it's good that he was able to kind of resurrect his career with the Vikings and now the Seahawks. Which goes to show one thing about NFL quarterbacks.
What's that?
Because when he first came to the Jets, he was god awful. But it's probably just the Jets.
Yeah, I mean,
why he was so bad. To me, it's like people give quarterbacks a hard time. Like, people give Cam Ward such a hard time.
Yeah,
but I'm like, dude, he has no weapons to throw to. You keep changing offensive coordinators like underwear.
I mean, it's about infrastructure, right? Yeah, it's about franchise. It's about, like, that stuff does matter. Like, sometimes guys suck. Like Josh Rosen. If anybody remembers Josh Rosen, the guy who was picked 10th in Lamar Jackson's draft by the Dolphins, and Lamar went the very last pick because somebody traded up to get him. Like, Josh Rosen just sucked, and I hate to call out Josh Rosen specifically, but sometimes you have dudes that are high draft picks that just suck.
It is what it is.
Yes, but sometimes it's definitely about the infrastructure of the team and not putting the right guys around them. But yeah, I mean, I think context matters. How do you think the Minnesota Vikings feel? You had Darnold there. Darnold had a darn near MVP season with the Vikings, and you let him walk because you're just like, well, we have J.J. McCarthy, so we don't need Sam Darnold. It's like, okay.
I mean, I get it, because Sam he had an almost MVP season, but he was always up and down, right?
I mean, he wasn't really down at all.
I mean, he wasn't really down
until the playoffs. But he lost the last game of the regular season, and then he lost in his playoff game where they had to go on the road. I mean, how the Vikings turn out this year, Haven Harrington?
Hey, you know what? Live and learn, man. You live and learn.
Like, they had 3 losses all of last year, and now Sam Darnold backed it up by showing that, you know what? I am a pretty decent quarterback. Now he's in the Super Bowl.
Like, you give him a team, things happen. And it's like, and I try to tell people, it's like, imagine what would happen if Patrick Mahomes beat Patrick Mahomes if he didn't get drafted by Kansas City.
If he got drafted by the Browns.
Yeah. If he got drafted by the Browns or the Jets. Would he be, he would still be a good quarterback, but he wouldn't be Patrick Mahomes.
That's an excellent question. But you know what? We're going to get into the Super Bowl. We're going to get into our thoughts on at least giving you a score prediction like that. That's about all I got for y'all. That'll be in the last segment.
No, we need to tell people.
What's that?
What's more important?
Well, what's more important?
Tomorrow, starting at 5:00,
Yes.
We're going to be at Bear Nose on, was it 3rd and Market?
Yes, 3rd and Market.
We're going to be in Bear Nose and 3rd and Market breaking down the Super Bowl.
That's right.
Live.
That's right. Bear Nose on 3rd Street. It's going to be going down tomorrow. We're going to be doing a live pregame festivities there for the big game. So absolutely come on down to 3rd and Market Bear Nose. It's going to be awesome. Bear Nose has got great food. It's a great venue to watch the game. Watched the game there last year and did some did a little hosting there last year as well. So shout out to the good folks at Bear Nose. Cannot wait for that. Jay has will be down there as well. So of course come out and see the Wake Up 502 main event extended family. You know what I'm saying? Come on out, say hello. For the big game. So that's a good. Yeah, thank you, Haven Harris. See, that's why you're the consummate professional.
That's what I do, man.
That's why you're the architect.
That last night, man, I had a great night at the Pendennis Club. It was fight night.
Okay, nice.
So I had a great night of fights there at the Pendennis Club. So that was fun. Got to meet a lot of great folks out there. Got to do a lot of networking.
Nice.
I got to meet our buddy Kelvin Sparrow. Remember, we had his son on the.
Yes, I remember.
Yeah, so for those who don't remember, we had Kelvin on here a couple of times, him and his son, Price Sparrow, on here from Radcliffe, great fighting family. He had his pro debut with Roy Jones Jr.'s camp, and the fighter he was supposed to fight backed out at the last minute, so he had to fight one of Roy Jones fighters, and the fighter he fought was 8-1.
Yeah,
and was in Roy Jones' camp. He was, he trained in Pensacola, Florida, underneath Roy Jones. He was, one of the guys that they were grooming to be that guy.
Okay.
And Price beat him in his first professional fight. His pro debut beat him.
Yeah.
And folks were so impressed by that. And this is huge, I'm about to say. Folks were so impressed by that. He signed with Top Rank Boxing literally like a month later. They flew him out to Vegas.
Wow.
And signed with Top Rank Boxing. So now he's been, he's now, I think, like 6-0.
Okay.
Flying around the country has a fight March 21st in St. Louis.
Nice.
So maybe a main event road trip because we did get invited down to watch his fight in St. Louis.
So that's what we call we call main event mojo right there because Price came out and he was on the show and talking to his pops. We got a little bit of good luck. So I think that matters. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That matters.
Mojo's real.
That mojo. Absolutely, that mojo's real. I mean, look what it did for our buddy Dontel Mays. You know what I'm saying?
I know, right?
He's
I'm saying? Killing it.
I'm telling you. So, he's one of the big headliners. On the UFC, the chain. So Kong Mays knows about the main event mojo. So
he knows it's real.
Absolutely, it's definitely real. So
you know who else knows about the main event mojo?
Who's that?
Pat Kelsey.
Fair. 502-414-1450.
Oh, you're on the camera now. Look at that.
Yeah, I do. I got you on the camera now. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have you up there at first. Sorry that Rose's intro not being clean threw me all the way off. I forgot to unmute the social media. I forgot to get the cameras. That completely threw me all off. So
that's okay. That's okay.
So Outkast. I love Outkast. I love that song. But had to get it. Had to get that together. But yes, you're on the camera now. So there's Haven Harrington. But of course, we have a whole lot of things we're going to get into. 502-414-1450. That is the Gameday Men's Health text line. We would love to hear from you this morning. Give your thoughts. Give predictions on the big game. We're going to have plenty of conversation about Louisville men's basketball, where they're at, what we thought about the game Wednesday night versus Notre Dame. We're going to talk about that. We're also going to, Jeff Brom went ahead and introduced and announced what was going to be going on with the defensive coordinators position.
I cannot wait to hear your thoughts about that. I cannot wait to hear your thoughts because I believe we share the same. We haven't talked about this.
No.
So this is going to be something we haven't talked about.
True. People
are going to hear our thoughts as raw as they can get.
Yes.
About defense coordinator, and I'm excited about that. But man, you know what? We got to talk some basketball.
Absolutely. We're going to talk about that. Of course, 502-384-1450. That is the Call Your Law Office hotline. If you'd like to give us a call, would love to hear from you there as well. On anything that you hear on our fine radio program this morning for the next hour and 44 minutes, you can get in and be a part of this quality broadcast. So would love to hear from you. But Yeah, Louisville basketball. And you know what? And there's one other thing, and I'm going to go ahead and get this out of the way first, just because.
I think I know where you're going, but continue, sir.
I have been under a little bit of heat for the last 24, maybe 36 hours, talking about Louisville women's basketball. Jeff Walls and the Fighting Lady Cardinals go down to defeat at home versus the Duke Blue Devils, the 22nd ranked Duke Blue Devils. I was extremely critical of the ladies. I was extremely critical of one Tajiana Roberts.
But they only lost by 1 point.
They lost by 1 point, 59-58. It was a hard-fought game, but it wasn't near good enough. It was a pathetic showing. It was pitiful. And you know what? I hold my teams at the University of Louisville to a certain expectation based on what they've shown themselves to be. And this Louisville women's basketball program this year has shown themselves to be one of the best teams in the country. And with that comes expectations. And I know that, everybody gets a little bit sensitive when you go out there and you are critical of certain teams. And you know what? I treat everybody the same, Haven Harrington. When the Louisville men's basketball team is on some BS, I'm going to call them out. If there are players that are on some BS, I'm going to call them out. Louisville football team, Jeff Brom, when they're on some BS, I'm going to call them out. If there are players that aren't getting it done, like Miller Moss, I'm going to call them out.
Especially since now they're pretty much pro athletes.
Yes.
You really can.
And guess what? When the women's team is on some BS and there are players that are not getting it done, guess what I'm going to do, Haven Harrington?
Call them out.
I'm going to call their asses out. And I'm just going to be honest with you. Like, Jeff Walsh is a great coach. This is not a condemnation on him at all. It's not a condemnation on this team. This team has the opportunity to be a Final Four team this year. This team can get Louisville women's basketball back to that stage where the fans have been accustomed to over Coach Walsh's tenure, as he is by and far the greatest coach in the history of Louisville women's basketball. This team is very, very good. This team has a lot of players. They have a lot of depth, but they were absolutely and totally psyched out in that game on Thursday night against Duke. I don't know why. I don't know. Like, Haven, have you seen some of those games? The best thing I can describe it to, have you ever seen some of those games where your team comes into a game and they almost, you kind of coach them to say, hey, make sure you pay attention. This team has a lot of shot blockers. So, you don't want to go too far. You got to make sure you get shots off quick because they might block your shot. And your team starts playing really kind of crazy because they're so in their own heads about, okay, I was told this team is a shot blocking team or this team is really long, so I've got to do something extra to get, you know what I mean? Like where you're in your own head. Have you ever seen that with a team where they just come in and you can tell they're not playing like themselves because they're just completely psyched out?
Yeah, that sounds like Scott Satterfield's football team. Anytime we played a big name,
that's a good point. That's fair. Yes, absolutely. Like
we were, but yeah, Scott Satterfield playing Kentucky, always psyched out.
Yes, like psyched just completely in their own heads. I would say Rick Pitino versus Kentucky. Anytime he got Louisville, ready to play Kentucky,
always psyched out.
And for whatever reason, like this Louisville team has played South Carolina this year, one of the top 3 teams in the country. They've played UConn this year, the undefeated and number 1 team in the country. They've gone on the road and won at ranked teams like North Carolina this year. Very good NC State team on the road went there this year. Louisville played more loose and free in those games versus those teams than at home in their own building versus a Duke team that's good, not great, had 6 losses in the non-conference schedule coming into this. And we're completely in their own heads. And I don't know if it's on the coach. I don't know if it was the way they prepared for that game. But for whatever reason, everybody played tight. Everybody played erratic. Everybody played undisciplined. And it was ridiculous. The product that I saw out on that court on Thursday night from who the women have shown themselves to be this year, for them to be playing like that on February 5th, after a full season almost of excellent basketball, was pathetic. It was terrible. It was a crap performance. All the players were completely in their own heads, but Taj Roberts, young lady who was an all ACC, all freshman, all world freshman last year, one of the best freshmen in the country, led Louisville's team last year as a true freshman. She's just been disappointing this year. She had a great game versus South Carolina and helped Louisville to just about win that game. Had a shot to shoot a three to win it at the buzzer and missed it, but had a great game. And she's been hot and cold this year. She's been good at points. She's been bad at points, but I called her out specifically because when you go out there and you're 0 points, 0 rebounds, 0 assists, a couple of turnovers, and a couple fouls, and that's all you give in 28 minutes of work, like, she just has disappointed me with her this year. Like, to me, she's not bad. She's fine, but she's literally the same player she was last year as a freshman. And it's just that, like, on Thursday, it just highlighted the fact that, in my personal opinion, Haven, she looks like a young lady who was very satisfied with her freshman year, and she was very satisfied with all of the press clippings that she was getting, and she just did not put in the commensurate amount of work to take your game to the next level. And that's what she looks like. And that was what I said on Friday night, and it rubbed some people the wrong way. And that's okay. That's fair. That's fair. You can have your opinions on it, but I feel like my analysis, I'm not one of those people that doesn't watch the team all year and then comes out when there's a quote-unquote big game and have something to say. I watch religiously every Louisville women's basketball game. I comment all the time. I know the whole roster from top to bottom. Okay, like, I watch them. I'm not just somebody coming in from the top rope, coming off the side, talking reckless. I watch all the games, and I understand the talent. Taj Roberts has the opportunity to be one of the best players in college basketball. So when I say I'm disappointed, if this would have been Kenai Rooshaven Harrington, and I felt that Kenai didn't put in the work, and he comes out here as a sophomore and looks exactly the same way he did as a freshman, guess what I'm going to do, Haven Harrington? Call his ass out too. I am. I'm going to be fair about it. And to me, it just looks like, Taj was, she's improved her 3-point shooting percentage a little bit. She's improved her overall field goal percentage a little bit. But outside of that, she's done nothing. She hasn't improved as a defender. She's not playing hard all the time. She's not giving all-out effort defensively. She's not giving all-out effort getting rebounds. She just kind of plays when she wants to play. You know what I mean? Like, so sometimes she plays hard, sometimes she doesn't. And for a player of her talent level, a player of her ability, that's not good enough. If you want your team to be a Final Four team, if you want your team to have an opportunity to win a championship, and I think that they are good enough to get to a Final Four and compete with the best in basketball.
Oh, wow.
I do. This year, they can do that. They're good enough to do that. But Taj is supposed to be the leader of this team. She's supposed to be the best player. You're only as strong as your leadership. And she's just not holding herself to that standard.
You can't,
game in and game out.
You can't have zero. You can't have a zero stat line.
Zero impact. Like,
you can't.
If your shot's not going well, Haven, that's fine. If you're not shooting the ball well, that's fine. Lock in on defense. Get a steal. Get a deflection. Get a rebound. Do something. Like, half the time she looks like she just does not care out there. And that's my only issue with that young lady. She's super talented. I'm hoping that she will bounce back, get on a heater, and finish this season the right way. But I have kept my mouth shut about this all year long, and I have not called that young lady out. But it came to a head on Thursday night because she should be better, and I expect better. Well, and if you want to have a focus on women's basketball and you want to talk about how Louisville fans and Louisville media, you want them to respect the women the same way they respect the men, I'm giving you the respect of that, and that's why you get the good and the bad. And that was a BS effort on Thursday night, and Taj was unfortunately the leader of the BS effort.
So do you think, because you said they played tight, honestly, I didn't get a chance to watch the game.
Yeah.
But you said they played tight. They're in their heads.
Shooting airball layups, Haven Harrington. Wide open layups, airball layups.
So my thing was this, because ESPN like really, really hyped that game.
Yes.
They really hyped that game.
Yes.
Do you think that the hype of that game just got to them?
I do. I think that they were just...
Because my thing is, as good as Louisville's women's basketball team has been,
yeah,
they really haven't been hyped by ESPN nationally.
Well, I mean, they have a few games.
But a few games.
The NC State game, they were hyped. I mean, of course, the South Carolina game was huge.
But not like this.
They opened... I mean, that's not true. I mean, they opened the season against UConn. Their first game of the year was against the number one team in the country.
It was, yes.
So, like, I mean, it's not like this is a team that's not used to having attention on them. So I'm not going to give them that excuse. Absolutely not.
All right. Well, I tried.
Nah.
I tried.
I mean, that's a good question. But no, they've been on ESPN Big Stick several times this year. South Carolina was on ESPN. UConn was on ESPN. NC State was on ESPN. They have been the headliner for several games this year. And this is Louisville basketball. This is a team that has been to the championship game multiple times. This is a team that's been to the Final Four multiple times. There's an expectation that comes with it. No, you don't get that excuse of, I was scared and we're not used to being in it. No.
I tried.
You don't get that grace.
Well, honestly, that's the only thing I could really think of.
It was just ridiculous. And because I've seen this play, and to their credit, Laura Ziegler, who had an awful first half herself, came back in the second half, was outstanding, gave a great effort. Alif Estambulugu came out. She played very, very well, especially in the second half. You know, Imari Berry is an absolute baller. Another one of those super sophomores. She has been showing up all year. She is Louisville's best player, in my personal opinion, even though she comes off the bench. You know? No, she's a baller, man. Like, everybody else at least kind of tried to suck it up in the second half. Skylar Jones, the transfer from Arizona, came in. She played very well after a shaky start. Everybody played terrible in the first half. But in the second half, they locked it in. Raina Scott, the point guard transfer from Oklahoma, locked in. They got it together and at least tried to get back in it. But Taj just was awful. And, like, it sucks that she had to have that bad of a game in that big of a game. But it's been an issue all year long. And South Carolina, she played hard and she played motivated for the full 40 minutes. And I don't like that, because every game should be South Carolina to you. Every game you should be going out there playing hard, giving full out effort, every game should be like that. And it just was not. And she has not done what she needs to do. So my hope is she takes this criticism and proves me wrong, and proves that she is that man, and she can take it to the next level, Like, show me, prove it. But I'm just going to give you that was not good enough on Thursday night. I'm sorry. Like, I am a person that I will say the quiet things out loud. And while other people think it's rude or it's mean, oh, you can't talk about the women's team like that. Man, whatever. This is Louisville basketball. I don't care if it's men or women. Like, we set a standard here. This is a championship program. The men's team is a championship program. The women's team has been right there and aspires to be that. So with that comes championship expectations. So we expect championship level effort. It is what it is. Hey, we're going to go ahead. We're going to get to our first break. When we come back on the other end, we have a lot more to get into. Raashaan Myers, Haven Hedge, we're going to talk about this Louisville basketball team, what we saw against Notre Dame, what we like, what we didn't like, and what we need to see moving forward. Yours, the Wake Up 502, Big X Sports Radio. We'll be right back. And welcome back in. Welcome back in. Second segment of the show, Big X Sports Radio. Raashaan Myers Haven here to take care of you. We are talking all things Louisville athletics, Kentucky when we have to, and of course, national NBA, NFL. We got Super Bowl coming up. We had a humongous NBA trade deadline. We will get into that a little bit as well. We have so much to talk about this morning, Haven Harrington. So much to get into. But we did talk about the women's team in that second segment. Hey, I still love y'all. I still expect y'all to do well, ladies. So do me proud, man. Yeah, y'all get it together. Get back out there. Let's get the next one. But we got to turn the page. We got to talk about Jeff Walz. We got to talk about Coach Kelsey and this Louisville men's basketball team. Came back, had a big win on Wednesday night versus Notre Dame. Haven Harrington, this game against Notre Dame, man, it was interesting. It was interesting. Of course, Javon Hadley, he was a game time decision dealing with some back issues. He did come out. Hadley did start the game. Did not play, but I believe the first 3 minutes of the game, 2.5, 3 minutes, sat down with the back injury. And you know what? Louisville, I don't know what's going on with the guard play right now, but the Louisville guards are struggling right now. Ryan Conwell is in a bit of a funk offensively. Michael Brown Jr. probably had one of his worst games, not for lack of effort, not for lack of trying, but just he did not play well. Conwell is not shooting the ball well. He was 1 of 9 from 3. In that game, Michael Brown was 1 of 5 from 3 and 1 of 7 overall. Isaac McNeely had a pretty decent game. He was the leading scorer, shot a 4 of 8 from 3. But it was a game where the guards just didn't have it. It just that they didn't have it. They weren't shooting the ball well. Adrian Woolley was 0 of 4 from 3. Did some nice things in the other parts of the game, defending, rebounding, things of that nature. But they didn't play well. Enter in Kenai Roots, who, of course, came off of a long illness. He had missed the previous, 4 or 5 games with this illness. Came out against, on last Saturday and had a double-double in his return. A big game, huge game against SMU. Was awesome. And then came out after beating SMU and, with 12 and 10. Comes out, Haven Harrington has another double-double, 12 points, 12 rebounds. 5 of 9 from the floor, 1 of 2 from 3, had an assist, just did a little bit of everything. Kenai was all over the place. And guess who came back, Haven, after pretty much, I don't know if he was on the side of a milk carton. I don't know if he was in witness protection, but we finally had a resurgence of Mr. One, Kason Pryor. Had not played at all, had not logged a minute over the last about 3 games. Kason Pryor comes off the bench. Coach Kelsey had begun to get some questions about why Kason was not playing, what was going on with him. And before and prior to the Notre Dame game, when Coach Kelsey was asked about it at his media availability, the only thing he said about Kason was pretty much, in terms of Kason, he said, in this program, you've got to be ready to play, and you've got to bring it, and you've got to bring a certain effort in practice, and you've got to be ready to play. And I took that as a very interesting comment as, like, what does that say to you, Haven? Like, when you hear Coach, when you bring up and ask about a player, and he says, you've got to be replaying, and there's an effort in this, effort and being ready and doing the right things in this program is important. What does that say to you about the player that you're asking about?
Yeah, normally he's not ready to play. Something's going on behind the scenes.
You think he's dogging it, right?
Yeah, he's not really working hard.
He's pouting.
He got in trouble in practice with something, whatever.
That's what it sounds like to me. That's what it sounds. Attitude's bad.
Something. There's something going on that we're not going to discuss publicly, but I'm going to let him know and wink to everybody in the media know that something's not right with this dude. But if he gets right, he'll be back on the court.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about one of the highest paid players on the team. He was one of the highest paid players on last year's team, was expected to be a huge part of last year's team, was expected that he would at least be a contributor this year, and had not played at all. Well, with the injury to Javon Hadley, Cason Pryor was finally got his opportunity to come out and play decent minutes. And I tell you what, Haven, in his 15 minutes of action, Cason Pryor comes out after not playing a minute. He got extended run both the first half and the second half. 10 points on 5 of 6 shooting, 5 rebounds, and an assist. In his 15 minutes of work. 10 and 5 ain't bad.
No, not at all. I mean, he had you can tell he wasn't, I'm not going to say rusty when he first came in.
Yeah.
But he did have a couple of quick fouls.
Yeah.
When he came in, a couple of bad fouls, I would say. I'm not going to say bad fouls, but just being overly aggressive.
Well, that's his game, though.
Yeah, being overly aggressive when you really didn't need to be that aggressive, a lot of reaching in and things of that nature. But he kind of settled down, and he had a great game.
Well, Cason is a guy that I felt, and I've said this earlier in the year, that it felt like Cason was a guy that because he wasn't getting, normal extended minutes where he was playing. When I say extended minutes, I'm talking about when he's in for a segment, getting the opportunity to play a full segment, 4 to 5 minutes. Okay, that's considered extended minutes. Cason wasn't getting that opportunity. Cason he would basically come in and he was getting a minute, 45 seconds, minute and a half, and as soon as he did something wrong, he was gone. And Cason is a guy who's not an efficiency player like that. He's not a guy that I can come in, run up and down the court real hard, get you a couple of rebounds, not take any silly shots, and just be a perfect little Stepford basketball player. Like, that's not who Cason Pryor is. Cason Pryor is a guy who's a quote unquote, feel basketball player. He's a guy that, the longer minutes he plays and the longer he's on the court, he's going to put his impression on the game, because Cason Pryor is a very instinctual basketball player. He's a very active and aggressive basketball player, and he just has a nose for the basketball. And what we got reminded of on Wednesday night is when Cason Pryor is left in the game to be a chaos agent, which is what he is, he makes things happen. He'll get deflections. He'll get steals. He'll get, he'll make
nice
putbacks. He'll be around the rim. He just knows how to make things happen. And that's who he is as a player. And the thing, Haven, that I've continued to beat all year long is, I told you, people want to give all these excuses for why Cason hasn't been playing. Oh, well, he must be hurt. Oh, that knee's just not right. Everybody made every excuse in the world. And I'm like, when he's on the court, I'm not seeing him limp. I'm not seeing him not sprint back. I'm not seeing him give effort. I'm not going to give him the excuse that Cason's not ready to play. I just don't think the coaches are giving him enough run. And they're not allowing him to be who he is. Like, Cason's a hooper. He's a dude that's going to generate points. He's going to generate rebounds. He's going to generate deflections and turnovers. He can play basketball. Dude is a hooper. One of the few alpha male hoopers that Louisville has on this team. A guy who is physical. A guy who is tough. A guy who's not going to take any mess. A guy who's not going to get bullied. Haven, what has been one of Louisville's biggest problems this year?
Anytime you face teams with big guys in the presence.
Physicality, right?
Physicality, and teams enforcing their will. Like, they have size down low.
Louisville
gets bullied and get the lunch taken.
I have said game after game, week after week, one dude I know on this team, while you're lamenting the fact that Sananda Fruit does not always play the toughest, while you're lamenting the fact that Vangelis Zugris is not the biggest dude, so guys can kind of just go right over the top, while you're lamenting the fact that Ali Khalifa is not an athlete, and Javon Hadley's just too small. What did I say? I said Cason Pryor's a dude that I know. He's 6'10", he's 230 pounds, he's long, he's aggressive, he has an attitude, he ain't gonna get punked. He's sitting on the bench not playing. I'm not giving excuses, just like you tried to give the women's basketball team in the last segment, Haven, trying to give them an excuse, trying to give them a reason. I wasn't going to give the women that excuse. I'm not going to give the men that excuse to just say, oh, well, Cason obviously is still hurt. That's bull crap. He just wasn't playing. And whatever reasoning behind why coach wasn't playing him, force feeding this 3-guard lineup that's not generating any sort. Louisville's not a better offensive team because they're constantly leaving 3 guards out there. Can we at least 502-414-1450? I want to know this from anybody who's watched this team. Is the 3-guard lineup really helping Louisville offensively at all this year? Has it generated any superior? When is the last time Louisville looked like a great offensive team in a game? When? When's the last time?
It has been a while since they've had
Indiana?
Yeah.
Like Haven, the Indiana game, Louisville was on it offensively. They came out of they shot out like a cannon. They were up 16-0 or whatever it was. You remember we were up there at that game. Like that's the last time that I remember Louisville just getting off to a just torrid start and just completely blowing the doors off a team. Am I wrong?
Facts.
And
I mean, but so like from watching this team,
yeah,
and I will say this all season long. And I really watched the Notre Dame game. Like I really watched it.
Yes,
to kind of see like what players were doing, what Kelsey was going to do. Because to me, Pat Kelsey, I can't believe I'm saying this on the air.
Say it. I like it.
To me, Pat Kelsey has turned into the Scott Satterfield of basketball coaches.
Oh God.
And what I mean by that is that like Scott Satterfield against teams Louisville was supposed to beat, we beat. Like Scott Satterfield really wasn't a bad coach.
Yeah.
But you knew that he would never, like he could take you to a certain level and that was going to be it. And you knew there was a ceiling on what he could do here while he was here.
Yeah.
There was a ceiling. And he got good players in. He didn't play aggressive defense, but when he did, the defense played really, really well. The offense was really good, especially when Malik was wheeling and dealing. But we play against a team with a big name on their chest, like a Miami, a Clemson. You could tell that Kentucky, you could tell that his sphincter kind of clenched up, and he lost his fastball.
Yeah.
Pat Kelsey is a great coach. Like, we'll beat the good teams. We'll beat the hell out of the bad teams.
Mm-hmm.
Wear them out. We'll even beat above average teams. But dag nabbit, if you have any type of size down low and you're willing to play physical ball, no answers. And so I was watching the game. I saw once again he threw out the 1-3-1 zone. Right?
Yeah,
he did it again.
Yeah,
but where's this experimentation against like the Dukes, Arkansas, and Tennessees of the world? And it's just annoying. And what else is annoying is watching Frew get the ball in the paint. And this happened like several times.
Yeah,
he gets the ball in the paint and he attempts like to back his guy down, and you could tell he has no idea what he's doing. Like you can tell that in his mind, you can see he's thinking, yeah, I got this guy one-on-one. I'm bigger than he is. I'm in an advantageous spot where I am on the floor with the ball. And he goes to back him down. He doesn't back him down, dribbling the ball close to his body. The ball is out in front of him where you don't have as much leverage as you would if the ball was close to your body dribbling.
Yes.
He doesn't try to like lean back to see, to get that space and leverage that normal big guys do before they start their post move.
Mm-hmm.
And he has like zero post presence, like zero post moves. And he tries to end every shot by facing the basket, even when he's down low. You just can't do that.
Yeah, like
and it's frustrating because you saw him get the ball in the post like several times. And I'm thinking to myself, man, if we could just get him just to learn 1 or 2 post moves and they start to get comfortable with that would open up this offense so much.
So you know what? I have a theory on that, and I think this. So first of all,
but am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong at all. And this is the thing I was going to say is that there's a reason why to me, and you can argue with me or tell me if you differ with me on this. It feels like when Ali Khalifa is in the game, in terms of running the offense, he looks a lot more comfortable running the offense that Coach Kelsey wants to run at the top of the key, being kind of that point center that can set screens and get guys open off the pass. Alex seems very much more comfortable in that role than Sananda does. Do you agree with that?
Yes.
So, to me, Haven, another one of those things where Coach Kelsey's been very reserved and very hesitant to make adjustments is in the fact that I feel that Louisville's offense should run differently when Sananda Fru's in the game than when Ali Khalifa's in the game.
It should be a completely different style of offense.
It should be,
and this was so mad because when we saw the construction of the roster, right?
Yeah.
We thought that this is going to give him ultimate flexibility.
Yes.
Because we were thinking, I was thinking, okay, got Sananda Fru's, a big guy's a physical guy.
Yeah, you got big long forward.
You can feed him in the paint.
Yeah.
And I thought it'd be great to have him and Kayshawn in the game at the same time.
Yes.
Because they could put a lot of pressure on the team's post players, which open up your guards to do what they do best.
Absolutely.
But we haven't seen none of that.
No.
Which is maddening. Which is maddening because you can see Fru once to back guys down. And against a team like Duke, I get it. He's not ready for that yet.
But to me, Haven,
but you're not prepping him for the Dukes against the smaller teams because you're not feeding him the ball in the paint. But okay, I need you to do this.
How much better, Haven? How much better could Sananda Fru be if Louisville, throughout the whole season was getting him, let's just say 10 to 12 touches where they were running specific offenses and motions to get him the ball on the block every game. If he was getting 10, 12, 15 touches per game on the block, how much better would he be by now?
He'll be a ton better.
Because as of right now, Sananda Fru usually only gets 2 to 3 touches on the block per game. Maybe.
That.
Yeah.
And it's just maddening because, and once again, I know PK doesn't like his team taking middies or the mid-range shot.
Yes. But that's basketball, right?
But that's what you need to be able to score at all three levels.
Yes.
You forcing your team to score at only, I'm not going to say 2 levels. He's basically forced his team to score at 1 level, which is the 3-point line.
Yeah, because they do struggle to at times to get the ball at the rim, even though they have done a better job the last two games, I would say, and I say 3 games, but at least the last 2 games, their interior passing is getting better. They found some short rolls for Sananda Fru where Notre Dame was doubling right off of the pick and roll, so they were kind of throwing that quick slip pocket pass, bounce pass, or either going over the top, and they were able to catch him going downhill. But
all in all, the offense is focused around shooting 3-pointers. We saw this against Indiana game actually, but they had the shot chart.
Yes,
and it was all threes, and then everything was right at the rim, which means either driving to the rim or it's putbacks.
Yeah.
And that was we said at the time, this is Pat Kelsey's perfect offense.
Yeah.
But the problem is when your threes aren't falling.
Well, the team, and the thing is, the reason why their threes aren't falling right now,
teams have learned, you know what?
They're just sitting on the 3-point line.
Yeah. We're sitting on the 3-point line and beat us some other way, and we haven't developed another way to really win. I
mean, Louisville was 7 of 31 from 3, 23%.
But now, once again, against teams like Notre Dame, even NC State on Monday, which NC State is a good team, I believe Louisville's going to win because, we have the talent. We still have the athleticism, the talent that we can overcome a lot of this. It's just when you get against big physical teams that are long.
But this is the thing, though.
That's going to beat you up.
But the problem is this: even against a team like SMU, a team like Notre Dame, 2 teams that aren't necessarily athletic, and
we still struggle.
They're not known for their defense because Louisville is trying to be so 3-point specific right now. It makes even bad defensive teams like Notre Dame and SMU able to guard you.
Yeah,
because the whole thing is everybody just stand at the 3-point line and just don't let Louisville have any open threes. Even if we have to give up a backdoor here or there, Louisville's not really looking to do that. So just ignore that, and everybody just stand at the 3-point line. It makes you super easy to guard,
and they can't drive against you.
They're not going to shoot anything in the mid range. They're not going to dribble in 1 or 2 steps and take the easy wide open shot. They're not going to throw the ball into the mid range and shoot that shot. So you don't even have to guard it. You don't have to worry about it. You know how easy that makes you defend, because this is the whole thing. That whole only 3-pointers and only layups, sounds good in theory, and little nerds put it on there. I'll talk about analytics and talk about these are the best shots in basketball, and this is why you should do this, and this is why. But okay, that's fine in theory, but basketball isn't played in theory. And guess what? Every possession that you play, you're not going to be able to get a layup or a 3-point shot. So guess what? In those chances where you don't have those, then guess what becomes the best shot? A mid-range shot, a floater. And Louisville's been kind of just refusing to take those types of shots, and because of that, they've made themselves super easy to guard.
And that's why you need a Kason Pryor, because he's willing to live in the mid range. And this is where Alec Khalifa kind of becomes a hindrance, because he gives you nothing almost below the 3.
Well, I'm gonna tell you what. One of the guys who's been one of the most erratic and kind of offensively challenged players on our team, Kobe Rogers, the backup point guard. Kobe is a demon in the mid range. If you go back and you look at Kobe's tape at Charleston, you look at his tape when he was at the D2 level when they won the national championship. Kobe was a demon hitting pull-up mid-range jump shots.
But that's not this. But that's not the scheme of this offense.
But the thing is, Haven,
and you're taking away what he does.
Yes, you're literally. He struggles to finish at the rim against size because he doesn't have a lot of size, and he's fast, but he's not crazy athletic. So a lot of times when Kobe's in there, when other teams are sitting on the shooters and they're not helping off, guess what Kobe needs to be able to do? Hit the floater, shoot that pull-up 15-footer. He doesn't even look at the rim.
No. And that's
the issue.
And that's why he looks like, I mean, honestly, he looks like I'm not gonna say he looks like a bad point guard, but he looks like
ineffective. He's very ineffective offensively.
And Willie sometimes he just looks like
confused.
He doesn't know what to do. He's not the best 3-point shooter.
Willie's another guy who's very, very good in the mid range,
but he's not a very good 3-point shooter. And on a team that prioritizes shooting threes, his offensive game is lost in the shuffle.
And Haven, I'll say this, and I know we're about to hit a break, but the thing is this: you can have 3-pointers and layups as your emphasis as a program. But you can't just go out there and coach your team to say, never look to take these shots and never take these shots. You can't play basketball like that because basketball is a game. It's a living, breathing organism. You have to take what the defense gives you at times.
Pat Kelsey's offense reminds me of when teams decided they're going to stop running the ball. And we're just going to throw it like 70 times a game. Remember that?
Yes.
There's time in NFL.
Yes.
So it's like we're going to abandon the running game altogether, and we're just going to throw it 70 times. And that's it. That's then what wound up happening is teams found a running game.
Yeah.
And then realized, you know what? I think we still need to run the ball.
I mean, you just can't do that. But I tell you what, we're at the top of the hour. When we come back, we'll be simulcasting on WGTK 970, the Louisville First Radio Network, Cardinal pregame. Paul Rogers, and we'll be getting you ready for Paul coming in. This is Raashaan Myers, Haven Hanson. We will be back on Big X Sports Radio. 96.1 FM, 1450 AM, Big X Sports Radio, Raashaan Myers, Haven Harrington, Wake Up 502, simulcasting live on 970 WGTK, counting you down to tip off. Cardinals taking on the Wake Forest Demon Deacons there in North Carolina. Cannot wait for this game. So glad everybody's joining in for Cardinal pregame on the Louisville First Radio Network. Haven Harrington, good morning. We've been talking this morning so much. We did a little bit of Louisville women's basketball early. We did a little bit of Louisville men's basketball looking back at Notre Dame in the second segment. I'm super, super excited to be joined. We got our man, the myth, the legend on the line as well. Jay has coming in. But before we get to that, I just want to remind everybody about the Feet First store. The Feet First store in Jeffersonville is helping Kentuckiana move better and feel better every day. If you are dealing with plantar fasciitis, knee pain, back pain, or you spend all day on your feet at work, they have you covered. Their personally fitted orthotic system is designed to improve balance, alignment, and overall comfort. Athletes can see better stability and performance, and everyday workers get the relief they need to keep going strong. Schedule your appointment by calling 812-725-0208 or visit feetfirststore.com to book online. You can find the Feet First store at 2781 Jefferson Center Way in Jeffersonville, Indiana. Give a shout out to my man, Chris Cannon. Does a great job there. He's the owner, proprietor of the Feet First store. He knows feet, people. As passionate as I am about Louisville athletics, Louisville sports, football, basketball, women's basketball, that's how passionate Chris is about your feet. That man knows everything and, will get you together. I struggle with back pain, foot pain. You all know I still am out on the court. I'm hooping every week. I like to get out there and play ball. I'm out there with the young cats running full court. Feet First is one of the reasons that I'm able to do that. They help me stay out there. You know what I'm saying? I can still get up there. I can't say I'm dunking right now, but I can still grab the rim right now. And Feet First is a big part of that. So thank you for that. Thank you for Chris Cannon. And you know what? This next guy that we're coming on, we're going to be joining him, getting you ready for the big game, Super Bowl, whatever this is, XVVZZ, whatever. I don't know how many X's in
It's an LX.
Is it LX?
Super Bowl 60.
Okay, there we go. Well, we're getting you ready, and we're going to be heading down to Barnos on 3rd Street. We got the man, Jay Haas. He's coming out with us. Getting you ready. Jay Haas, good morning. How are you doing this morning, sir?
Getting on the Super Bowl, baby. Getting on the Super Bowl, man.
That's right. Going down to Barnos, 3rd Street. It's going to go down. We're going to meet with our people, Jay. You know what I'm saying? We're going to get out there. We are a program that is all about, by the people, for the people. So I'm excited. I'm excited, man. What you got for me?
Man, I'm excited, man. I know it's cold. I know it's probably less than about 23 degrees so far. Tonight's going to be about 19. But listen, one of the hottest things going on right now is going to go 502 Sports Show. That's what's happening right now.
I appreciate that, Jay. Thank you. Yeah, it's going down. That's what we do. We are the radio show of the people.
There's a lot going on with Raashaan Myers, Haven Harrington, and your interns that France Louisville basketball, women basketball as well too, and Lamar Jackson and so much else to know. Things like that, man. I just want to tap in. Haven, our family said something in the press conference last week.
What? I am very proud of Jay. Jay asked the best question of the press conference the other night, talking to Coach Kelsey last Saturday after the SMU game. He asked Coach Kelsey about, what it felt like to see his son, Johnny Kelsey, just getting all the love showered down him by the Cameron Crazies while Johnny was out there shooting ball before the game. And Coach Kelsey gave a great answer. Jay, that was a good job, brother. That was the best question of the day. I'm proud of you, brother.
Well, thank you, Raashaan, man. I was just trying to keep a little morale going on. I know they got beat by 30 points. but the objective was with that young man, Johnny, shooting threes, and Duke fans was behind, and Duke fans never did that. I just see something great with a young man like that, and morale was so exciting about that, man. I just wanted to interject about this little boy, Johnny. Everybody loves this little boy, Johnny, Coach Kelsey's son. But Raashaan, there's a lot going on, and it's happy birthday weekend at Haven Harrington. It's turning a year older.
Yeah, he's old.
Man, I was trying to touch you, man. It was the last minute thing. I didn't know you had a birthday. And Raashaan told me yesterday. I made something happen so quick, and it happened just less than about 10 minutes. Even after.
Yeah.
Main event mojo, baby.
That's what I'm talking about. And now we're doing a little Super Bowl preview, pregame down there at Meadows on 3rd Street. Yeah, so it's going down. That's why everybody's got to come out and be a part of it. Ain't that right, Jay?
Man, come on out to 3rd Street, 3rd and Market, to Meadows Pizza, one of the best pizzas in the city. And come and show your love for Haven Hack and the 3rd. We're celebrating his birthday, a Super Bowl weekend. You can come, bring him a Christmas card, or what kind of card we'll bring him and show us some love. Tomorrow, about 5 o'clock tomorrow, John?
About 5 o'clock, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Getting started.
5 o'clock, going to start live with Raashaan Miles, the best of the best, Batman and Robbins on the wheels and ones and twos. But this is some music, Raashaan, you know what I mean? It's like a mojo.
Jay wants to have a whole party. Hey, when he wants to get out there, have a DJ, start scratching and everything.
Hey, I'm down for it. I am 100% down. So DJ Chaos, DJ Z Nice, if you guys are listening, I know you are. Come on out. Bring your turntables. Let's turn it up.
There you go. I like it.
Hey, man, I can tell you this, man. I'm so proud of you, man. To know you over 40-something years, man. I see you grow so much from the business and in front of me, man. It's just a blessing. It's just an honor to know two of you guys, you distinguished gentlemen, Raashaan, and you guys are doing what you do, what you love to do sports radio. Man, you do a fabulous job in and out every other weekend. But if people only knew what you guys have done for the last 20-something years in this business, it amazed people. It's like going to Hollywood 10 times. People don't know you've been to Hollywood 10 times. It's just amazing how you've done so much, man, in this business. You know, you cover local and international sports, man, from Monday Night Raw to Super Bowl, NBA. I mean, it goes on and on and on and on, man. I was telling a story every day. And Kentucky Sports going to do a story on me next week because I'm getting a prestigious award February 21st, Haven.
That's right.
And at the Grand Plaza Hotel, man, I'm excited about it. But I can never thank you guys. You guys was the most person, you two gentlemen will maybe keep the fire going in this business. But it's a 38 years. You imagine that, Haven?
Man.
It's a long time. A lot of years. It's a lot of years, Jay has. So, hey, so let me ask you, before you get out of here, Jay, let me know, Louisville's on the road in Winston-Salem, taking on Wake Forest. They got it done against Notre Dame. They've won their last two. They came back and beat SMU. They beat Notre Dame in kind of an ugly game where they finally got it together down the stretch. How you feeling about the game down there at Winston-Salem? Wake Forest doesn't look like they're going to have their point guard today. Looks like he's going to be out. Javon Hadley, he was out with a back injury. I don't know if he'll be back. They said he could possibly play. How are you feeling about the Cardinals this morning?
Really tough. Coach Cousins going back home, and he's going to be proud. Going to be happy. Going to do a lot of booing, and Louisville should win by 10.
Okay. I like it very much. Okay, well, all right. So, but last thing before I get you out of here, it is Super Bowl weekend. So you got to pick who you rolling with, the Seahawks or the Patriots? Who you got?
Man, it doesn't make a difference, man. I was enjoying the Super Bowl weekend, man. His birthday, I can shake it and bake it and pump it up.
Nobody's excited about the Super Bowl. It's so crazy. It's wild. Well, Jay has you one of the best to ever do it. I love you, my brother. Appreciate you, man. Gonna talk to you very, very soon. Hopefully we can watch this Louisville victory, and then maybe Tennessee can make us happy and knock them cats off down in Lexington tonight.
Yes, sir.
There we go. Appreciate it, Jay. Jay has, there he goes, the man, the myth, the legend himself, Haven Harrington. I really need Tennessee to beat Kentucky. Kentucky cannot sweep Tennessee this year, Jay. Haven.
You know what?
They cannot sweep Tennessee this year. I need Tennessee to win this game.
No,
Rick Barnes.
No, we don't. We need Kentucky to beat Tennessee.
No, I'm absolute. I will never say I need Kentucky to do anything. That's the beautiful thing about when Louisville beats Kentucky in the basketball game. Like, if Kentucky wins a game, it helps Louisville's resume. But if Kentucky loses, I can laugh at them and listen to post-game shows where they're all whining and crying and talking about fire Pope. Every time they win a game, they talk about we could make a Final Four. Every time they lose a game, they say Pope needs to go. You know, it's hilarious.
I'm not worried about Kentucky and Tennessee. Who cares? What I'm worried about is Demon D.
Hilarious. Absolutely. Hey, so Calmise, their point guard, number one, they did announce that he's going to be out for this game. He's kind of been their hub of their offense. Very nice, savvy point guard. He's not going to be there. You would think that bodes well for the Cardinals. Michael Brown Jr. coming off of a tough game last time out. I would expect that he's going to bounce back, Haven Harrington. Like, what do you want to see today? Now, Coach Kelsey, my man, shout out to my man, Matt McGavick. He asked Coach Kelsey after the last game, after the Notre Dame game, because Louisville has been getting off to slow starts.
Horrible. That's been a horrible start.
Their last 4 games, Haven Harrington, Louisville has been outscored by 26 points the first 4 minutes of the last 4 games.
That is crazy.
26 points they've been outscored in that first segment. So Matt McGavick asked Coach Kelsey after the game, straight up, he's like, Coach, with getting off of these slow starts, are you gonna change the lineup up? Is that something that you'll do to maybe get off to a better start, make some adjustments to the lineup? Matt Kelsey said, you know what, Matt? That's a great suggestion. I'm not gonna do it, but that's a great suggestion. So Coach Kelsey just kind of doubled down on the fact that his way is the highway. He feels like he knows what's best for this team and who should be starting. Would you make an adjustment to the lineup at all?
To me, like, my lineups will be dependent on who we're playing.
Yes.
And our matchups, because I still feel that we have a very versatile team.
Yes.
And you can mix and match players and play several different styles. So to me, whoever I'm playing is how is going to dictate who starts.
Yes.
Like some games like against Duke, Javon Halley wouldn't start. I would start Kenai Roots because he's bigger, longer, and taller.
I would start both of them. So it's the funniest thing about this.
And would give me, I would start him and Kayshawn Pryor.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I would love that. I would love that.
Like, that was my starting lineup. Everybody else be the same, but I would put the 2 bigs down there and let them work. That's me.
So what I would do, I would opt for a 3-man front down low. Like, I like Hadley in there because Hadley he has the versatility. He can guard 1 through 4. He's smart. He can handle the ball. He can shoot it well enough. He's still shooting about 40% from 3 on the year. I would love to see a Javon Hadley, Kenai Roos, Sananda Frew front.
Yes.
Like those 3 guys together, I think that gives you the best, offensive, defensive combination to where those guys are not going to hurt you on offense, but they're also a lot better defensively. They're a lot better rebounding the ball. They have a lot of length. I just love that lineup. But, for whatever reason, like I said, Coach Kelsey has just been absolutely in love with this 3-guard lineup. I personally don't think that the 3-guard lineup has paid much dividends, which is why I don't know why we're force feeding it to where you feel like they just have to be out there. Like, Isaac McNeely does not have to be on the court 30-some-odd minutes every game. Like, I think that Isaac is shooting the ball well. If anything, honestly, I'm going to be real with you. The way guys are playing right now, Ryan Conwell's not playing well right now. Maybe you take some of those minutes from Conwell and give Isaac McNeely more, minutes at the 2. He played the 2 at Virginia. He's been playing out of position at the 3 all year long. He's never played the small forward position in his life. He's not defended that position very well at all. Teams are looking to isolate him and attack him. Like, those would be some of the things that I would look at doing. Something needs to be done with this 3-guard lineup. Like, to me, a more traditional set where you go with 2 guards, 2 forwards, and a center, to me, is the best for this team's versatility. It's the best for their defense. It's the best for their rebounding. And honestly, they've been the best unit when they've played together. And that's the kind of weird thing about this team, Haven Harrington. For a team that's like so based on analytics and so based on the numbers, it feels like they're not scouting themselves. Because if you're looking at your own scout, you would know that the numbers say that the team has been better when they've played bigger.
Yes.
On both ends, offensively and defensively. And even though the team has played better when they play bigger, the coaches are trying to force feed this 3-guard thing that's just not yielding much fruit.
Well, the problem is you have, with our 3-guard offense, you have Michael Brown, who is the ultimate point guard, right?
Yes.
He can shoot. He can drive. He can dribble. Most importantly, he can create his own shot.
Yes.
The other two guards can only semi-create their own shots, right?
Like, can they? Neither one of those guys are good off the bounce. They really don't score.
Well,
Conwell can a little bit.
That's what I said. Like, Conwell can a little bit, McNeely can't at all. So the issue is with a three-guard offense, you only have one guy that can really drive, create his own shot, take a guy off the paint, and is a threat to really finish at the rim.
Yeah.
The other two guys, no.
And the tough thing about Conwell doesn't necessarily have the size because he's only about 6'3", and McNeely doesn't have the athleticism.
And that's the issue with the three. It's not really. It's like a three handicap guard offense. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I mean, I don't mean that like in a bad way.
I know what you mean.
But like you really need.
Yeah.
The other two
they have severe deficiencies.
Yes.
The other two guards have severe deficiencies, and playing a three-guard lineup, classically, what you want is to have two dynamic ball handling guards. Two guards that have size, and athleticism and quickness to be able to get in the lane, and like what Alabama has.
Yeah, and then McNeely could just be a shooter.
Yes.
And that's what we don't have.
Like that. That's literally the Alabama. When you look at Aiden Holloway and you look at Roy Filine or LeBaron Roy Filine. Not Roy Filine played.
You think about Roy Feinstein? Is that what you're thinking about?
No. Roy Filine played for Coach Strong back in the day. That was his favorite D tackle of all time. Was Roy Filine. LeBaron Filine, who's the two guard for Alabama. When you have Holloway and you have Filine out there, both of those guys can orchestrate as the point guard and the off guard. Both of those guys are dynamic, getting to the rim, and they can shoot it. So when you have both of those guys, then their third guy is just pretty much shooter. You know what I'm saying? He'll stretch the floor, stand either in the corner or on the wing, and just wait for those two guys to create, and you can kick out to him. But that's the only way that the three-guard lineup works. It feels like a lot of what Louisville's doing is that it just does not work when you're trying to do what Louisville's doing with only one true ball handling breakdown guard. It just doesn't work.
It doesn't work at all, and that's
especially against the teams that have the athleticism and the size to disrupt what you want to do.
Yes, and it makes our offense much harder than what it needs to be, right?
Yes,
and that's why I love watching Kenai Roos play so much, because he's long, he's tall, he has good enough handles to where he can get the ball and he can kind of take a couple of dribbles. He can bring the ball up the court if need be.
He can just do all the athletic plays, like long plays. He gets steals. He can get his hands in passing lanes. He gets out in the run. We saw him get the ball in the mid post off of a rebound, take two power dribbles, and go up with a hook shot in the middle of the lane.
And he doesn't mind getting dirty. He doesn't mind getting in the paint. He doesn't mind banging. He doesn't mind getting a rebound. He has some decent mid-range moves where he's a threat to score 15 feet and in. And I think that's what this team is sorely lacking, is that threat to score 15 feet and in.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. The big men won that game on against Notre Dame on Wednesday night. Like the big men did not outscore the guards. They almost did. I think it was only 2 or 3 points difference. But the play of the big guys, and that's all the big guys. Sananda Fruit, 12 points, 5 rebounds. Kason Pryor, 10 points, 5 rebounds. Kenai Roos, 12 points, 12 rebounds. And even Ali Khalifa chipped in with a couple of points, a rebound, and assist. Like the big men, and even Big Zook contributed. He played really well. Like the big men won that game on Wednesday night, and it was because of their aggressiveness, their rebounding, their physicality. And to me, it's just like at some point, will the coaching staff see what these big guys are doing and understand that, maybe if I keep 2 of these guys out here together at all times, we're going to be better off.
Well, because you need that threat in the mid-range. You need that threat down low to open up your guard play.
Yes.
And especially when you have 2 of your 3 guards aren't dynamic dribblers and ball handlers.
Yes.
So you really need something to kind of free them up, to give them space, to open them up. And the best way to do it is to have that dominant interior play offensively that's going to force your defense to collapse down.
Yeah.
And, we saw it against the big physical teams like your Dukes, your Tennessees, your Arkansas of the world, and they really weren't concerned about an interior game.
Mm-hmm.
So they never had to sink down to guard anybody in the post. They could just post us up at the 3-point line and then just beat us up down low, and we just don't have an answer for that.
Yeah.
Now, Wake Forest is not going to present that problem to us.
Yes.
And I think when Wake Forest missing their star point guard,
yes,
Michael should have a breakout game and should eat and eat well.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree with you. I'm right there with you. I mean, Nate Calmese, he's a big part of what they do. He's by far, Nate Calmese averages 4.9 assists, basically 5 assists per game. There is not a single player on this Wake Forest roster that averages more than 1 assist a game, 1.5 assists.
And that's, you lose that much of your offense.
Yeah, like he literally runs the whole team.
And especially when you're going against a super dynamic point guard in Michael.
Yeah.
That should be a mismatch all day long. That we should easily be able to take advantage of that.
Yeah.
So, like, all the stuff we're talking about with want to see better post play, it's not going to hurt us against Wake Forest. Yeah. But this is a great team, I think, especially with, I think Michael's going to have a great game. He's going to be able to penetrate, finish at the rim. He's going to be able to create a lot of scoring opportunities for other guys on the team this game. I expect him to have a lot of assists. This is a great game in which to kind of start working your post players and getting them some work.
Yeah, I mean, this is a
team that can dominate.
This is a team that
should dominate.
Of their best of guys that play, Trayvon Spillers goes about 6'8". Omaha Ballou is 6'7". Omaha Ballou is 6'8". Trayvon Spillers is 6'7". Cooper Swiger 6'10". They don't have a lot of size.
They don't.
And they don't have a lot of size.
To be like, this be a perfect game, like, because we know Pat Kelsey loves to experiment against teams that he feels pretty confident we can beat.
Yes.
This is a great team to experiment with, getting through the ball on the block with this back towards the goal and telling them, hey, I want you to do a skyhook. Or I want you to fake left, go right, and try to get like a quick layup like at the rim. Like, This is a great time to get our post players the ball.
Yeah, Louisville's big guy should eat tonight. Like, this should be
let them eat.
So now
let them learn how to eat.
Hey, I'm all for calling my shot. I'm gonna call my shot today. Sananda Fruit should go for a double. I could see this be a Sananda Fruit 18.12 rebound game today.
Oh, easy.
Like easy. I can see that today against this team.
And if Kayshawn gets any type of time like he did against Notre Dame,
he could go 10-5 again.
Yeah, an easy 10-5. Because this is a game I think Louisville could really experiment. We could really work on our post game.
Yeah.
We could really work on guys driving to the, having Michael drive, pitch, get the Florida offense really going and start running like we like to run.
Yeah.
I think this is a great team and a great matchup where we can like really impose our will on the offensive end of the court.
Yeah. Agreed. No, I totally agree with you. I'm right there with you. Texter in 502-414-1450 says this card team, in his opinion, is not going to make a deep NCAA run. They get behind entirely too much against good teams, and that will bury them. I agree with you. Like, that's going to be the other thing that we look forward to today is, can Louisville get off to a good start after, how being as bad as they have been in the first segment, first 2 segments of the last couple of games. I think that the start's going to be important. We're going to have to see them do a better job of creating some easy looks and some easy offense. I think that the more that they do that, the better things are going to be. Haven, you got a score prediction before we get out here for the break at the bottom of the hour?
Score prediction, give me Louisville 88, Wake Forest 71.
I am kind of similar. I definitely think this is a Wake Forest team that wants to get up and down. They want to push the pace. Of course, Louisville loves to push the pace. So I do think it's going to be a higher scoring game. I would say maybe Louisville 93, Wake Forest 79.
Okay.
93-79.
I like it.
Nice, about 14-point victory. They could, reach the triple digits. We could see that happen. But
Wake Forest only 2-7 at ACC. They're 11-11 overall. This should be a team that we should be able to impose our will offensively and defensively. Michael should eat. Mm-hmm. He should go for at least 20, 25 points this game. And we should be able to dominate from start to finish.
Yeah. I
should be able to dominate from start
to finish. You know what? Let's get Ryan Conwell off the snide. Let's get Ryan Conwell. He's 2 for 20 in his last 2 games shooting from downtown. Let's get Ryan Conwell comfortable. Let's see him kind of get back to shooting it well, and we'll go from there. Thanks very much for everybody on the Louisville First Radio Network. We're going to be sending you over to Cardinal pregame as those guys get you ready, count you down there in Wake Forest or Winston-Salem. This is Raashaan Myers Havenhead, and we'll be back on the Big Ass Wake Up 502. The show. Wake up 502 96.1 FM. 1450 AM, Big X Sports Radio. Thanks so much to the Louisville First Radio Network for joining us, simulcasting, taking you down to tip at noon there in Wake Forest, down there in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Really appreciate J-Haz and everybody that was a part of that last segment. Make sure you guys remember to come out tomorrow for the big game. It's going to be going down 3rd and Market right there on the corner. Bear Nose used to be Bear Nose by the bridge. Now it's Bear Nose next to the spaghetti factory. But come on out. Would love to see you. We'll be down there getting rolling around 5:30. Of course, kickoff for the big game is at 6:30. So would love to enjoy a little time with you guys and get to meet you. So come on out for that. But
hey, for more details, check us out, wakeup502.com.
Yes.
Go to the website, the flyer, as soon as I make it, and by another couple hours, we'll be up there.
There you go. Absolutely.
On the website. So, hey, check us out, wakeup502.com.
Hey, and when you go to Main Event Sports on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe there. You can check us out there. You can get all the
Main Event Sports show, baby.
Absolutely. You got to do that. I tell you what, Haven, we got a few little text messages before we get into our football defensive coordinator talk. Definitely want to get to those. The texter says 502-414-1450. He says the prior hype versus Notre Dame was false bravado. Ooh. He will go back to being just I mean, look, like I said, I think that Kason Pryor can be a guy who's a consistently, impactful player, but I think that he has to get more minutes on the court. I think one of the reasons that, as you said, Kason Pryor was before now was because he just was not getting consistent minutes. He's a dude that has to be on the game, running up and down, running around, doing those types of things. I just think that that's the type of player he is. He's
the type of guy, he has to get into the flow of the game.
Yes,
and it's impossible to get in the flow of the game when you're playing only 2 to 3 minutes.
Especially for him. He's not that type. He's not a microwave type of player. That's just not how he goes about doing things. And, when you're not that type of player, it bothers him. He has to be out there on the court. I think the more you watch him and the more he's in there, the better he can be. So hopefully we'll see more of that from Kason moving forward. I don't know. We shall see. Texter says, good morning, Wake Up 502. Main event, happy Black History Month. Thank you for that. Happy Black History Month as well. Even if, Donald Trump and his people want to do some very foolish things during Black History Month, I'll just leave it at that. He said, Texas says, Rick Pitino and St. John's took care of business yesterday. Absolutely knocked off number 3 UConn. I know that Danny Hurley hates Rick Pitino. Like, Danny Hurley has not lost much over the last several years, but he has lost to Rick every year the last 3 seasons. So I'm sure he's very annoyed by that. Texas says, these next 4 games, Louisville should go 4-0 or 3-1. If anything else less, we should hit the panic button. Yeah, I mean,
I agree.
Louisville, that was the whole thing I said about, after the Duke game, I said that I felt that Louisville should go out there and win 10 of their last 11 games. And I meant that. That was not kind of pie in the sky. Like, when I looked at the teams that they were playing, the ability that they had to go out there and impose their will, I felt that Louisville should win all these games. I agree with you, Texter. To me, the game at North Carolina is the big one. Like, that's a tough game. North Carolina has the size. They have the athletes to kind of give Louisville some trouble. So I think that's where you may see them, maybe have some issues. But outside of that, I agree with you.
Honestly, at this point, the book is out on his team. And, we all know what type of team's going to cause us troubles.
Yeah.
So when that bracket comes out, you can look at the matchup and you can pretty much tell how far we go.
Yeah.
Like, literally, before we play a game, you know exactly how far we would go by looking at the matchups.
Yeah, I mean, unless
this is upsets.
Yeah, unless there's some upsets or Louisville just gets on a crazy hot shooting, that they just shoot very hot in a game. For the most part, I feel like you kind of know what's going to happen. I mean, it just kind of is where it is. But I think that for me, this Louisville team has they have the personnel to be better than that if they want to be.
Okay, I know we said this preseason, but I'm going to say it again. I believe, and this is just me, and I'm not the basketball guru that you are.
Yes.
So you can tell me if I'm wrong or not. But to me, the way this team is currently constructed, we have like a Final Four level talent team. I believe.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
Or at least Elite Eight, Final Four level talent team.
Yes.
But that's the Final Four if we maximize everything that we have. Elite Eight, if we kind of don't maximize but have more of an inside presence, I think we could be that kind of level team. But I don't think that the way we're playing guys now, I don't think it'll happen.
Yeah, I mean,
we have a versatile team, but it's not being very versatile with the guys we have. Like we should be able to play.
We're being stubborn.
Yes.
I'm just hoping that Coach Kelsey can see the production that these forwards are giving us these last several games, and I'm just hoping that he will make some slight adjustments to, because at the end of the day, you want to win. Like at the end of the day, that's the whole point. And last year, he did an excellent job of adjusting on the fly because he, had the limitations. This year, you don't have those limitations, so you have the ability to do a myriad of different things. So you know what? How about you go out?
You can play big. You can play small. You can have a team that attacks the mid range. I mean, a team that can attack the 3-point line. But we just haven't seen that yet. We've seen a team that can attack a 3-point line, but we haven't seen the team that could really consistently attack the mid range. We haven't seen a team that has gotten the most out of its post players. And I think that's a hindrance. And like I said, because of us not taking advantage of our versatility, big physical teams will always be a problem for us.
Yeah, agreed. Texter says 502-414-1450 says this style of play of only 3-pointers and shots at the rim is a fun and entertaining style to play until the team you root for practices that philosophy. PK is either going to have to get elite talent everywhere elite talent every year or change his coaching style to survive at this level. I agree with you. I just think that
totally.
I think that it's nice in theory to say you want every shot to be a 3-pointer or a layup, but during the course of a game, every shot's not going to be that. Like if you have a team that's good defensively or a team that's forcing, is taking away something. Like I said, the way teams are sitting on the 3-point line. If they're going to just sit at the 3-point line and they're going to post their big 7-footer like Yugatolu, it's SMU's big man last Saturday. If they're going to just post Yugatolu at the rim and they're going to leave all their guards sitting at the 3-point line, guess what that leaves open, Haven Harrison?
All that middies.
Yeah. Mid-range. Like, you've got to take that shot because guess what? If you start taking that shot and you hit 1 or 2 or 3 of those, guess what they have to do?
Guards have to sag.
They have to sag, and guess what that opens up, Haven?
The 3-point line.
Hey, the 3-point line.
Or the center has to come out.
That's basketball.
Which opens up the paint.
That's basketball. It's...
I'm saying it's like when teams refused to run the ball in the NFL for a couple of years.
Yes.
And then teams started to run the ball and they realized, you know what? We really need a run game. You know what? We need to start draft running backs again. We just can't plug any old body in the running game and expect it to work.
Yeah, I mean, literally. Texter says 502-414-1450. Morning wake up 502 crew. Looking at Coach PK, consistency of playing his players out of position, then why should future players be encouraged to come play for the Ville? I mean, I think that Coach Kelsey, because Michael Brown and his success this last month is going to be very paramount because I think that he and Kenai Roots, because of the style of player that they are, the build that they are, they had the number 1 player in 2027 in the gym last Saturday when Louisville played SMU. And I love the fact that he was there. I can't remember the young man's name, but he's 6'10", 230 type guy. So to see Kenai go out there and have a big game coming off of his injury, to see Kenai go 12-10, be really athletic, do a lot of nice things, as a big forward, a big versatile forward, that's awesome because guys say, man, that's a style that I can play. So you've got to hope that guys see Michael Brown and what he's able to do. You see guys like Kenai Roots and say, you know what, I can play in the system because, Coach Kelsey's system is run. You get fun. You get to run up and down and you get to press and you get to shoot threes. But, every player wants to play fast. Every player wants to do it. But it's a lot harder to do in practice than it is to just say you want to do it. It's very hard. It's very difficult style to run, and you have to have the right personnel out there. So I think my hope is that Coach Kelsey is learning what types of players he needs to do what he needs to get it done. But also, I need Coach Kelsey to lean a little bit more into defensive basketball, because I don't think that he's leaning into the defensive side and bringing in enough good defensive players. Like, I love Javon Hadley, but you can't consistently win with a 6'6" power forward.
No.
You just can't. That doesn't work. And that's not a knock on Hadley, because I think Hadley played the 2 at Colorado. Hadley can play on the perimeter. You're just forcing Hadley to be a power forward, which is just ridiculous to me, in my personal opinion. Texter says, Final Four. It says Lieberman said this is not a Final Four team. I mean,
so here's the thing, right? The way they're playing right now, no, they're not.
They have Final Four talent. I think they do have the roster that's good enough to make a Final Four, but they're just not being
utilized.
They're not being played correctly, and the problem is you're just so late in the season.
Yeah, they're not being utilized until late in the season. Like I said, the beginning of the season, we all thought this roster had Final Four talent. And I still believe this roster has Final Four talent, but are they going to make the Final Four? No.
Yeah.
But they're not.
Yeah.
They're not a Final Four team, but do they have the talent to do it? Yes. Do they have the versatility in players that you can play different styles of offense and defense and match up better with bigger physical teams?
Yeah.
Yes, you do.
Yes.
But you have to play like that throughout the season, and we've shown that we're just not going to do that.
I remember the conversation when they talked about the fact that they brought in those 3 transfers of Ryan Conwell, Isaac McNeely, and Adrian Willie. And Michael Brown, of course, was coming in as a freshman. And everybody was like, well, you got to start 3 of those guards. And hey, if you remember, I always pushed back and said, I don't think you start all 3 of those guys. No. I said, I feel that you start Conwell, Michael Brown, you play Hadley at the 3, probably either Kaysen Pryor. I said, Kanai early because, I don't think Kaysen's going to be ready. But I said, when Kaysen's ready, I would see, Brown, Conwell, Hadley, Pryor, and Sananda Frew.
Yes.
I said that from the preseason. I thought that's what we would see. Unfortunately, Coach Kelsey just was like, no, we're going to play all these guards.
The other thing that, and I've said this to you in private, I guess I'll say it in public as well. When I watch our team play, especially our bigs, I'm not sure we have anybody on the coaching staff that really knows how to coach post players.
I mean, that's fair.
Because, at this point in the season, Frew should at least have 1 or 2 go-to moves when he gets the ball on the block.
Yeah.
And he has 0 go-to moves when he gets the ball on the block. And you could tell that he knows he wants to take his guys.
He's just not confident with
He's not confident, and you can tell he doesn't really know what to do.
Yeah.
By the way, like I said before earlier in the show, when he gets the ball in the paint, rather than dribble the ball close to your body, right, and then lean back to create that space of separation, he's dribbling the ball out, which makes it easier. One, if you're not stable, you don't have your base, makes it easier to steal. And that's not how you start a post move, right? And you could tell that none of our centers know how to really. Okay, I got the guy behind me in the block. He's smaller than me. I'm going to do this, that, and the third and score. I'm going to fake right, go left, and lay up with my left hand. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to fake right, go left, hit him with a sky hook. I'm going to fake right, I'm going to fake left, go right, go up underneath, and I'm right there for a dunk. You don't see our players with their signature go-to move, which just leads me to believe that nobody's coaching them on how to post up in the paint, and to me, that's going to be this season's most disappointing aspect about this team.
Yeah,
is that you have the players that have the physical ability to do it. We're just not doing it.
The disappointing thing about this team is that the coaching staff did not do a good job of coaching their team on the floor. They did not. Like I said, one of the biggest strengths.
Did not take advantage of what this team could really, the strengths of the players.
John Calipari was a master at that.
Yeah, like Kobe Rogers and Adrian Willie, right?
Yeah.
We thought those guys would be dynamic guards and everything else, but they look, I'm not going to lie. Most times Kobe Rogers looks completely lost. He doesn't know what he's doing out there.
Roman loves Adrian Willie.
I don't. I think Willie Willie just gets lost. It's
yes.
Like he doesn't know what he's doing.
He looks confused.
He drives to
He plays hard defensively.
Yeah, but
plays hard defensively. But offensively, brother looks lost.
He drives to the basket. Looks like, okay, now what to do? I'm here. Like, what do I do?
Pick up his dribble and start looking around.
Like, I can't out jump these dudes. They're taller than me. Like what? I don't know what to do. So let me kick back out and let's do this again.
He tried to dunk on somebody once this whole season. Once.
But it's one of those things but because PK doesn't like middies, the mid-range game, I think Willie and Rogers would be great. Like if they just they dribbled, because they're okay. I mean, they're not really finishers at the rim.
Yeah. They
really can't create their own shot, but they can do enough to get past that first line of defense.
He is very good and adept at that pump fake. Step into the mid range and shoot a put.
Like I said, get past that first level defense.
Yeah,
and then from 15 feet on in, drain it. But that's not what that's not what we do on offense. So they don't do it.
Like I said,
take so much of their game.
I agree. It's like telling Kobe Rogers to go do what Michael Brown does.
And he can't do it. That's not what he is.
Yeah,
but we tell him, hey, you know what? Go to the free throw line, pull up and shoot. Money.
Yeah.
We tell Willie, hey, go to the free throw line, pull up and shoot. Money.
Like Kaysen, go in there and just wreck shot on the game. Just go out there and be a pest and be aggressive. Everybody do what you do well.
We're not taking advantage of the level of talent. Not the level of talent. We're not taking advantage of what our players do best. We're not feeding the studs.
Agreed.
And it's gonna, we have enough talent to beat, like I said, the good, the above average teams and all the bad teams on the schedule. But by not fully taking advantage of what our players can do and what they do best, we won't beat the elite teams. We just won't.
Well said. Well said. I tell you what, we got a few more texts. Thanks everybody for texting in. We got
to talk about the DC.
I want to go ahead and move on to the defensive coordinator announcement. Of course, Louisville did announce Mark Ivy and Steve Ellis were named co-defensive coordinators at the University of Louisville. Of course, Ivy has been a part of the team since Scott Satterfield was here. He's been a part of the team, very aggressive. Everybody likes his mentality. Steve Ellis has been with the team as well. What do you think about the give me your thoughts. I know you were talking about. Give me your thoughts on making this announcement and the fact that it took like 3 months for them to announce.
It took 3 months to announce something they probably knew like at the end of the season. Honestly.
In your opinion, was Louisville targeting someone else and these guys ended up being the backup plan? Do you agree with that?
I don't think so. I think this was always kind of going to be like the plan. And I think that Brom liked the scheme and wanted to keep everything familiar to the players. And I bring somebody in and introduce like a brand new scheme to where you may have to figure out like recruit different guys to fit that scheme, or it may take like a year or so for the new defense coordinator to get his guys in there to implement whatever defense they wanted to do. So I kind of get it for continuity's sake. Mark Ivy's a great coach. Ellis is a great coach. I'm just not a big fan. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm just not a big fan.
Why? Yeah.
I think that.
So let me ask you something. With the success that Louisville's defense had last year, and the fact that they were one of the better units in the country and one of the best units in the ACC, the consistency and understanding the scheme, understanding the players,
it makes logical sense, right?
Yeah,
and I get it. I totally get it.
Yeah,
but
you wanted them to do what Miami did.
Yes, because here's my thing: like, if you're going to be a serious national championship or playoff contender team, then you got to put your big boy shorts on. And I know Brom is hyper loyal to his guys, and he's going to stick with his dudes. But man, you got to be able to go out there and get the best DC that you can afford. And from things I've heard, like Clint Hurt was willing to leave the Eagles as their defensive line coach and be our defensive coordinator. Granted, he's been out of college ball for over a decade, so he doesn't have the recruiting connections. But who cares? He's an NFL defensive coordinator. Guys want to play for a guy that was the defensive coordinator of the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah.
He plays on defensive line. He's defensive line coach at the Eagles. He knows what he's doing. He's a great defensive line coach. we know he's a pretty decent defensive coordinator because he was a defensive coordinator at the Seahawks forever. So I'm just like, man, like, and we saw what happens with Miami, right? Miami gets a new defensive coordinator, and they're a completely different team. Their defense goes from being horrible last year with almost the same dudes being dominant and one of the best defenses in all of college football.
I'm going to say this. I'm going to give you my opinion on why all this happened and the way this happened. So the announcement was made that English was stepping away on December 30th, okay?
I think it's a nice way of saying
and
deuces.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I think that that's one of the reasons why this took so long is I think that the coaching staff was kind of caught off guard with the fact that English was stepping away. I think this was a Ron English decision, and I think because of that, Louisville had not been preparing to talk to defensive coordinators.
But you always have to have a dude in your back pocket.
I hear you. I understand.
You have to have
but because
Brown's been a head coach long enough to know you always have to have that dude.
I feel like it happened so late in the game, and it was so close to, transfer. It was transfer portal time, and transfer portal, stuff was happening, and they had to kind of lock in on figuring out making sure they got these transfers in. That I think it was just kind of late in the game. I feel like if Louisville had known that they were going to be shopping for a defensive coordinator at the end of the year, I think that would have happened right after the Kentucky game, and they would have started interviewing. I don't think that they planned on having to do a defensive coordinator search.
My thing is whether you plan to or not. You always have to have that guy on your back.
Plus, the thing is late in the game, most coaches had already made decisions on where they were going. Most defensive coordinators that were out there, all of the good players, unless you were going to get somebody off an NFL staff,
which is why
all those college defense coordinators had already made their decision.
Which is why I said Clint hurt because
but that's what I'm saying. But that's the whole thing is that they were caught off guard.
But Clint wanted to come.
But Clint hurt.
He wanted to come.
They don't want to go back to that. Like, let's just be honest with you. They don't want to go back to the Charlie Strong era dudes. They just don't.
They don't. But
and I think that
I get it. But at the same time,
I'm okay with the consistency because of how good the defense was this last year. Because the scheme worked, because they were very, very good. Obviously, Clev Lubin was okay with it. The guys decided to return. They had a ton of guys that decided to come back, pull their name out of the transfer portal. Louisville has a lot of talent on the defensive side of the ball. So, when you can get all these guys back and returning and, to rally behind these guys. And I do think that Mark Ivey's a good coach.
He's a good coach.
And I think that with the framework of what Ron English left with it being so successful, I feel like these guys should know the secret sauce.
Like I said, I understand, but I just think if you're that program that's trying to, you're trying to be on a collision course, then you got to be on a collision course.
But you had a top 20 defense. That's good enough. With Jeff Brom as your coach, you have a top 20 defense. That should be good enough to get you to the playoff.
Should we talk about maybe replace offensive coordinators?
I'm just saying. That's the thing. If the offense is bad again, then the defense has been good 2 of the last 3 years. Offense.
Brom's supposed to be an offensive guru, but literally the past 2 years, the defense has been the strongest unit.
That's fair. All right, hey, we got about 2 minutes, so tell me, what you think about this Super Bowl, Sam Darnold versus Drake May.
The Sleeper Bowl?
Yeah, like, what do we think?
If we're basing it just off of the AFC, NFC playoff game, it should be close. Seattle should win this game. I'm still going to pick Seattle. I think they're the most dynamic team of the two.
Yeah.
I don't care, honestly. I'm going to watch the game.
I want to say, I believe Seahawks are 4.5 point favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So give me Seahawks. I'm going to say by 5.
You know what I'm going to say? It's going to be a beatdown. See, the Seahawks are going to drag the Patriots to the river. I don't think
they should.
I don't think the New England Patriots are any good. I think they took advantage of the softest schedule in maybe NFL history.
They had the weakest schedule.
They had a very forgiving playoff slate to get here. And I think that the Rams and the Seahawks 2 weeks ago were playing a different sport than what the Broncos and the Patriots were.
Well, hold on. We had to give it to the weather. It was
that's fine, but they still both those teams were trash. They were garbage. So yeah, give me the Seahawks big, at least 3 touchdowns, 35-14. 35-14.
Another Super Bowl blowout.
Super Bowl blowout. Seahawks get it done. Haven Harrington, thanks so much. I appreciate you, my brother. Happy birthday. Everybody come out to Bare Nose on 3rd Street. We will see you guys. This is Raashaan Myers for Haven Harrington. Wake up 502. And we're out.